guys, welcome to Ditsy's Diamond Den. So sorry that we did not have a WIP and Chat last Thursday. Honestly, things have been kind of crazy. This last week we had to go get our hair did because Dear Helper does not like it when his hair gets too terribly long.
Nope.
And it had gotten pretty long, especially for him. So we went and did that, and I went and had my trim. I do only trim my hair like once every 6 months, because I've had too many people accidentally like just completely chop it off and destroy my hair. So that's always been a fear of mine. I'm kind of scared of going to, and also with my anxiety, I have problems leaving my house. Like on Thursdays, usually on most days, if I know I have to come home, I kind of wake up and I have a cup of coffee and then I start my day. But on days where I have therapy on Thursdays, I have a really hard time, like, even getting out of bed that day because I know that I have to leave the house, and I start having anxiety attacks before I even have to leave the house. Just talking about leaving the house like right now, because I know I'm gonna have to go on Thursday again, makes my heart start beating really fast and my fingers start tingling and I have difficulty breathing. It makes me feel crappy, like all over. And then, I was talking to somebody else, to my doctor, about, the fact that I wouldn't say I have agoraphobia. I can leave my house, but I don't leave my house without somebody, because I've had panic attacks before in public places and gotten stuck to where I couldn't move and had to have people called to come and get me. And honestly, it's embarrassing. It is just, it's really, really embarrassing. And so I don't like to leave the house without somebody with me. And so I had to go to my doctor's appointment. So the doctor's like, well, how did you get here? And at the time, Dear Helper was out of town, because sometimes he has to go out of town. He didn't realize he was going to be out of town, so I did have to go to my doctor's by myself. I do make sure I have a doctor. I don't go into town for my doctor. I have a doctor that's much closer to the house, so I'm not as far out. And that way, if I do get stuck, at least it's not that far from home, so I can walk. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm in the middle of a really bad anxiety or panic attack, I cannot drive. It's dangerous for me to attempt to drive when I am like that, to where I can't barely even breathe or see or move, because my concentration goes completely out the window. And it was like, well, I didn't really have much of a choice, because of the fact that, you have to pay the cancellation fee, and I don't have insurance, so I couldn't cover that. And it's like, I'm already having an anxiety attack because I have to leave the house today without Paul, and I'm struggling with that. And then you have to sit in the waiting room, and I struggle with that. And then I have to actually talk to somebody, and I struggle with that. And it was a pretty bad experience, because then they're like, oh, well, how'd you get here? They think you're lying about the fact that you have trouble leaving the house. And it's like, I didn't say I'm agoraphobic. I can leave the house. It's just it's really scary for me to leave the house. And Dear Helper can tell you, and even my kids can tell you, because I've always had anxiety, especially when I'm a hugger for people that I know and that I trust and that I love and that I care about. But if strangers bump into me, I cannot handle it. So when the kids were younger and we would all go to the movies or something, before it got really, really bad, they would, Paul would be behind me and the kids would be on the side of me. That way nobody could accidentally jostle me. Bad mom alert, because it was like, yeah, don't let anybody touch your mommy. So that's always a little bit of a struggle. So last week in general was just kind of hard because we had to go out. We had to have our hair cut. We, had to do our therapy. We also had to do our major grocery shopping.
Yeah, we grocery shopped. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so usually Dear Helper, because of my issues with leaving the house, he does like the week-to-week grocery shopping, like when we just need like milk or bread or anything like that. But he is not very awesome at like the major grocery shopping, so I do have to leave the house once a month for that. And then we also had 2 vet appointments. I did tell you guys that on my Insta and on my Facebook, that my dog Ollie, he has a heart murmur. And so, he was diagnosed with a heart murmur like when he was like 7 or 8 years old. He just turned 15 last week. Yay! And we caught his heart murmur really early, but he started like having this really bad wet hack. So with the heart murmur, he does hack. I mean, that is pretty normal and we're used to that. But this was like a really bad one, and it was so very wet and it kept us up all night long. So I called to make a vet appointment because my dog Sparta also has CHF. And we found his out because he almost died. We were traveling to
Illinois.
We were traveling halfway across the country, and he starts having this really wet hack, and he's not eating, and he's not feeling very well, and he's really, really listless. So I find a vet while we're traveling across country to take him to, and he basically was having like a mini heart attack. They got him all like patched up and gave us a whole bunch of medication to give him. And then we got him back to the vet as soon as we were back here. So Ollie was making that same kind of noise that Sparta did when he was in serious distress and it was an emergency. So I freaked out because I love Sparta and I love Odin, but Ollie is my soulmate. He's my everything. So we make an appointment, and he is sounding pretty bad, so they did have to up his meds. And he goes in, him and Sparta both go in for an echocardiogram once a year. But because of the fact that we fortunately found out about Ollie's heart issues so early on, his has grown like unbelievably slow because we got him on the vet med. We just got everything done so very, very quickly with him. And he hasn't really had any like significant changes in the last 7 years. But because of the, pretty sudden change, they took x-rays. His heart, after all these years, has actually shown quite a bit of enlargement. He had some fluid in his lungs and in his belly. So they gave him some new meds and wanted to get him in for another echo. And my vet knows that, I'm kind of nuts when it comes to my dogs and their health. And I feel very fortunate that I can be nuts about my dog's health financially, because I know not everybody can. So I feel so fortunate that Dear Helper loves his animals, our animals, as much as I do. And when it comes to their health, he's just like, just do it. If we have to sell our house, if we have to sell our cars, if we have to sell our kids.
Whoa. We're not selling the truck.
Yeah, you would totally sell your truck.
I would. I'd sell the truck. But not the house. We can't get another one. And we'd lose money at this particular point.
But yeah, so I'm very fortunate that not only am I married to somebody who loves animals like I do. But so anyways, the vet's like, so they need their echoes. So we schedule their echoes. And they got him in really, really fast. So we had our second vet visit and had to take them in for their echoes. And then it was Ollie's birthday, and Ollie turned 15, and that's a pretty major event. So I went to PetSmart, to buy him some birthday presents. And so I was just, oh my goodness, I was out and about a lot last week. And all of these things were things that needed to be done. They were good things to get done, but I'm not gonna lie, I struggled. I struggled so much all week. I could not get out of bed. I was, just, all the things that happen when you're having anxiety and depression, and just everything last week was just so much harder to do. It wasn't just let's get up and make some coffee. You're in that depressive and anxiety mode where it's like, make coffee? Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to get up. I'm going to have to walk through 2 rooms. I'm going to have to create a coffee pot. I'm going to have to get down a coffee cup. What if I need to add new water to it? And it's just, anybody that's been through it gets it. It's not just getting up and getting coffee. It's like this huge process that just seems so incredibly daunting and difficult. And that's another thing that I am really fortunate about, because Dear Helper, he 100% understands, and of course he did not. When we first got together, he did not understand how something like making the coffee could be like this huge thing. But fortunately, over the years, he understands that it's not about making the coffee. He understands, the processes going into my head about how hard this is and how many steps it takes. And so now we just, he really, encourages me now. And instead of just being like, get up, he'll be like, oh, I made you coffee. It's here in the living room. It was kind of I did a whole bunch of the steps for you. All you have to do now is stand up. Just stand up, baby.
Well, you got to remember, though, when I first heard about depression or anything like that, I didn't know anything about it. It was completely new to me. So my first response, which was not good, was just, hey, just don't feel that way. But, I didn't know that, and I felt like a complete idiot after doing research, which I still do to this day, on depression, anxiety, and everything else that comes along with it. But, it was really, really not right of me to say, just don't feel that way, because that's something I might have been told as a child if I was upset or whatever, but that's completely different than what we deal with.
Yeah, but you do, you do so much, research even on your own, that you handle it really well at this point, because that's what I said. Before, you would have just been like, oh my God, get up. What are you still doing in bed? And now you know exactly what I'm doing. I'm laying in bed thinking I want coffee, and you know internally exactly how I'm struggling. So you meet me halfway is kind of this amazing encouragement.
Yeah.
And I don't know if any of you guys suffer from depression and anxiety and stuff like that, and if your guys' husbands have learned how to do that. But I find that, in general, is just really helpful for me with him, that meeting of the halfway. Or, he'll get up and he'll be like, oh, I started the shower for you, honey. I got you some towels.
Don't waste water. Don't be a planet killer.
Yep. And for me, that helps, because it's like, yeah, I need to take a shower. I want to take a shower. But once again, the steps of all of it. But he's got it already done. He's got the water going for me. He's got my towels. He's got my washcloths. And you're pretty amazing, babe.
We just have to take those steps and break them down to the simplest of everything. Of just stand up. All right, we stood up. Yay. Don't think about what other steps are involved in doing something. You just slowly do each step. If you stand up and you're like, oh, I can't do it, then lay back down. And then try again. That's all you can really do. Is just try to break the steps down so it doesn't seem so daunting.
Well, also, that one therapist was really helpful when she told me, instead of thinking about the steps or what you have to do, just stand up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just stand up and start walking
one.
and see where you end up. You know, don't think about what you have to do.
Nope.
Just stand up.
I don't think about every little step I've got to do. I know I got to get up. I check my phone. I go through my email. I check out alerts. And then I start my day. Well, the dogs pounce on me, so I know I have to feed them. Feed dogs, make coffee, get going. I mean, that's...
Yeah, but
I don't think of all the little steps in between. I don't think, oh, stand up, put slippers on, walk into kitchen, walk over to, coffee maker.
Open cupboard.
Make coffee pods, because we don't buy plastic coffee pods. We buy reusable little paper, biodegradable paper filters. They're not even really paper. But anyway, so, I don't think of it as steps like that. I just think of, okay, got to get up and do this, 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 and this. And
like a normal person?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say normal, because normal is subjective.
Subjective.
Very subjective. And, just saying that reminds me of myself maybe 15, 20 years ago. I would have never thought normal was subjective. No, I would have been like, I'm normal. All these other people are not normal. That's how I would have been, but just to hear me say that is, to me, it's funny. I guess if you'd have known me when I was younger, to me, hearing that is funny and nice.
Yes. Your views on life in general have grown so much since I met you. And, this might gain me some followers, and it may lose me some followers, but, I stay true to myself, and I am a supporter of, people that live an alternative lifestyle. And so Paul's brother had come up for Christmas one year, and we're all sitting around and we're chatting, and Paul's brother is gay. So his sister is there, and we start talking about transsexuals. And she starts talking about she doesn't know what to call it. So me and his brother, and this is what surprised me, is because Paul was not like this when he was younger. All of us just turn around and just look at her. And we're both like, it? And what the hell is wrong with you? And she looks at us and she's like, well, I don't know what to call it. And we're like, it again? We're like, are they male or are they female? And she's like, well, they're transsexuals. And I was like, awesome. Do they identify as male or female? And she's like, well, female. And we're like, then she. And all night long, she kept going. She kept trying to bring it back up, because and the rest of us are kind of like, oh my God, her, she. And she kept using the word it. And Paul finally was just like, oh my God. And I loved that about him, because I can promise you, when he was younger, even in his late teens and early 20s, he did kind of have that same mentality. And now he stands up for people. He's like, that ain't right.
It's because I learned myself. And you've helped me. But I do learn as I go, like most people should do, is learn yourself.
Yeah, but that also comes to different upbringings, because you were not around alternative lifestyles.
No. And me growing up as a kid, just so you have background, I was...
an all-American boy?
Yeah, really. I mean, we had so many brothers and sisters living with us. Our parents did everything to keep us busy and keep us out of trouble. So I played every sport that you could play as a kid. Soccer, baseball, football, everything. I played trombone. I sang in a choir. There were so many things. I wrestled. I'm just thinking about it now. I mean, I did so many things because we had so many brothers and sisters. Our parents just needed to keep us busy. Even if that was them driving us to all of these different sports and things that we did, it at least kept us out of majority of the trouble.
Out of the house.
Yeah, and out of the house from destroying it.
Yes. Well, I had, of course, a much different childhood. Like I said, my mother was a hippie. She was also an alcoholic and abusive, but she was also a hippie. So she was very much into free love. And my dad, he was a good old country boy, but he was also, and always has been, extremely tolerant of other lifestyles. And we're talking like even in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, my dad knew gay people. He never had a problem with gay people or transsexuals. My dad was always, just very open and accepting of everybody. And my mother was very open of that too. And my mom and dad, I would never say they had a serious relationship with somebody else, but my mom and dad did have girlfriends and boyfriends, and that was okay because they had an open marriage and they believed in the free love, and sometimes they would definitely be okay with other people being with them and stuff. And so I was just, I don't know. For me, that was just really natural and really, really normal to be very accepting. And I wasn't like some kids, because I know quite a few people who've, talked to me about how, growing up, they didn't even understand that they were gay because it was not something, or transsexual. It was very confusing for them because it was not a term they'd ever heard before, except for maybe in derogatory ways, and they didn't really understand who they were or, anything like that. While for me, those were words that were used a lot in my house in a very respectful and loving way. And that was one thing I did because of the abuse in my life. I was a very angry child and I got into fights a lot. But that is one thing that I always kind of was a defender of sorts. And that's one of the things we've been talking about in my therapy, is now that, my kids are grown and my whole life I've had to take care of people. And now that I don't have anybody to defend and fight for, I'm kind of like at a loss of who I am as a person, because I've always had to be the defender. Even very, very young, my mom would get herself in these, bad positions to where we would hitchhike, or she would get drunk and she would get in fights in the bars, and I would, even at 5 and 6 years old, I'd be in the middle of these grown-up fights, trying to pull the girl's hair or the dude like hanging onto his leg like a monkey to kind of like help protect my mom. When she would be fighting somebody, whether she was winning or losing, it was my job, to get in there and help. So I always, had to protect my mom. And then as I got older, I became, a protector of all the kids that like got bullied in school, because I was bullied a lot when I was super young. And then as I got tired of it, I kind of became the bully of the bullies. So if you called somebody a name in front of me, I was gonna kick your butt, and then I'd get in trouble, and I did time in juvie for it. So now that the kids are grown and all of the kids are out, just Paul here, and he doesn't need me to like fight for him or stand up for him or take care of him or anyways. I'm having a real identity crisis with that, guys. It's like, who am I? Who am I if I am not the caregiver? What do I do? That has been really hard. It's been hard, I think, on Paul also, because without the caregiver, I've been kind of like all I just don't want to do, you know? So it's been a busy week. It was a hard week on me mentally and physically because, you know, if you guys have the anxiety and stuff like that, you understand that this, and that's what a lot of people don't understand is the physicality of it, how rough it can be on your body. But, you know, other than that, we've been chugging along with the event. And dear helper, you've got how many new bids coming out for your work?
Working on four right now. 4. And I have another one that I do tomorrow in a different city.
Yeah, and these are for...
These are government jobs.
They're the government jobs. And who was it that you said went, like, on the... were on the news and they, like, gave you a huge shout out on the news?
One of the parks we did, because it had no cell service in the entire zone. There was nothing, so there was no 911 services. There was no... anything. There was no cell coverage. There was nothing. There was no landlines even brought in. So we brought in fiber optic internet, and then we also put in wide area network internet service for every RVer that comes in there at no additional cost. It is a network that is for not only the camp hosts and park affiliates, but it's internet that everybody can use when they go there, and it is fast.
I thought that you could get 911 services everywhere.
I mean, maybe you might on SOS, but this is in a valley that is surrounded by mountains. So there was almost nothing you could get. You'd have to drive up a ways just to get 1 bar of cellular service.
Oh, wow.
So it's in a very tucked in spot, very low, around the bend of a river, and then it has giant mountains covering every side of it.
Okay, you said that now. I want to sing that Pocahontas song. Up around the river bend.
Just around the river bend.
Yeah.
It's just around the river bend, not up. Come on.
Okay, this guy's nuts. If he knows all the Disney songs by heart. He knows, like, I don't know. It is crazy. I know. Did they used to have that? I thought they had a game to where it was like finish that line, and I swear he could have won like a bajillion dollars on that game.
If it was music related, sure.
It was music related.
Then yeah, I would have remembered a lot of it.
Yeah. So he remembers the lyrics to the song, and he laughs at me because I am, of course, always getting the lyrics wrong or forgetting the lyrics. But I am very, very good at naming the artist for even really obscure music. It is something that I have this strange little affinity for. So, anyways, I feel like the last 2 weeks I've been just... So I definitely want to end tonight on a little bit of a ha 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 ha. Let's get some bunnies. So we are going to do a little Q&A with us so you can get to know us a little bit better outside of all the dang drama and sad and boo-hoo. Yeah, because my life is definitely more than just that. Just this last 2 weeks has been kind of a little rough. Haha, rough. Ooh, and on a side note, I started doing these YouTube videos, and I noticed that the tattoo I got when I was 12, this one right here, is like, bleh. So, I made an appointment, and I'm going to get that covered up, and I cannot wait for you guys to see that once it is done. I've got an appointment for the 6th of that month, which does mean leaving the house again, so... Oh, that part's always scary. I hate that part. I had tickets to see the Steve Miller Band live, which is like one of my favorite all-time bands, and I ended up having and they were like front row seats, and I ended up having an anxiety attack right as we were leaving and couldn't go. Sucked.
It happens.
Alright, what is number 1 in our hot seat questions this evening?
Okay, so number 1 is, what is the worst thing I've ever done?
I would say when Annette had to drag you out of bed because you wouldn't wake up when I was in labor. You were just like, no, I'm sleeping.
I was like 17 years old, 18 people, okay? I was sleeping, was tired. I don't remember a lot. Yeah, that's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
I put not knowing something before I spoke about it.
You did pretty good. And you were pretty young. And you did wake up when Nana came and was like, "Oh, get your butt out of bed." You were like, "Oh, okay, what's going on?"
Yeah. All right, what's the worst thing you've ever done? I got in fights as a kid.
I actually put the face mitch.
Oh, okay. The face mitch to our daughter.
Yeah, so I was just telling my therapist about this the other day because I felt really bad. Because I tried to raise my kids with gentle parenting. My kid was like yanking on my arm and screaming that she's hungry as I'm trying to make her a sandwich. And I told her the worst thing I think I ever did. And my daughter thought it was hilarious and she demanded that I give them to her for the rest of her life. That I give her face mitches because I took the sandwich and I was like, "Oh, here's your sandwich," and I pushed it into her face and yelled face mitch. It was, everybody thinks that's so funny, but
It's
I felt
funny now.
horrible about it.
It's funny. I like it.
I was frustrated, so that's not, to me it was bad. It was like, oh, I just like scarred my kid for freaking life.
Nah, frustrations happen. All right, number 2. What should be my new nickname?
I think it, instead of being Grandpa, or you should be Grampus.
Grampus?
Grampus.
Like I'm mean?
Like your grumpy grandpa, yeah.
Grandpa.
Grandpa, yeah, that's it. Grandpa.
Grandpa. That's good,
Not
but
Grumpus. I was thinking,
Krampus.
Krampus. Yeah, Grumpus.
Yeah, Grumpus.
Us.
Grumpus. I put Superman. That should be my new nickname.
Can you fly?
I don't have to fly to be super.
Man, sometimes it is hard to freaking put these drills on when I'm YouTubing because I don't want my head to be like, oh, you can't see anything. And I'm like, miss. Okay.
All right.
What do you think mine was?
Ditzy.
Yep, that's correct.
I did get it?
Yeah.
I'm good.
There's a reason why it's called Ditzy's Diamond Den.
All right, number 3. What world leaderboard would I be ranked number 1 on?
Oh, I think it would be Guitar Hero.
I'm not very good at Guitar Hero.
I think you're amazing.
You might think so, just like those people that go on American Idol where their mom said, "Hey, you're an amazing singer," and then they get up there and they're like, "Oh, no."
All I know is that was one of those games where when we first bought it, I was like so awesome at it, and you were like, "Oh, I suck at this," and then I showed you how, and I'm still playing on easy, and this dude's like on extreme.
Still, I'm not the world leader. I put husband on the world leaderboard.
Oh, okay, true. I didn't put that because in therapy you're always talking about how I hate it when you tell me I'm perfect.
No,
That's
perfect
impossible
is
to live
different
up to.
from being the number 1 worldwide husband, I think anyway. Perfect is you never make a mistake. And then you can never make a mistake if you're perfect. So
Yes.
that's a lot of pressure to put on somebody.
Yes, he does not like it when I call him perfect.
No, nobody is perfect. Let's see, for you, your nickname would be Ditzy.
What would it be on the number 1 list for though?
Oh, that's right. I looked at the wrong card. What world leader? Oh, Klutzy. Klutz. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Yep.
That's a good one, but I would put I'd be the number 1 at being the punniest.
Punniest.
Uh-huh.
You used that a couple times tonight.
Punniest?
Not in this chat, but when we were out.
Oh, well, just in general, because I'm punny.
Alright, so this is number 4. What do I have 0 tolerance for?
Stupid people.
No. I put liars. I don't like stupid people, but liars are even worse.
Oh my god, I know, right?
Oh, yes. For you...
Although for me, people say I'm too honest.
Well, I mean, that's okay to a point. You don't want to be so honest that you hurt people. You have 0 tolerance for... I'd say liars, too, I think.
I actually put root beer.
You don't like root beer.
Yeah.
And you have zero tolerance for it. You're like, root beer,
Well,
no.
I kind of am, because I have root beer on my mind, because DreamWax Studio just recently released a new scent called root beer for their wax, and I actually won a free one. And I love DreamWax Studio's wax, but I actually had to IM her and be like, actually, let's go ahead and give that to somebody else, because I cannot even stand the smell of root beer without it turning my stomach.
I like root beer.
So yeah, I mean, I turned down free stuff because I was like, no, I don't want to.
All right, so this is going to be number 5. What is an unwritten rule that I believe everyone should follow?
To obey you?
No. That they think before they speak. That's it. That's all they got to do.
Okay. And what's the punishment if they don't do that?
Nothing. I just don't talk to them. Or I don't respond. I don't have to respond. I don't think before I speak a lot.
All the time.
I know. I try. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
But that's part of, I think, the honesty thing. You're just like, oh, well, I don't lie, so I'm just going to say everything that comes in my head.
Well, yeah.
And then people cry, and you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
And I'm like, stop crying! How do you expect me to talk to you if you're crying? Alright, no. And for you, what is an unwritten rule that I believe everyone should follow? You think everybody should have a horse and or pony. Is an unwritten rule?
No, because some people are mean to animals.
That's true.
So I said be kind.
Oh, there you go. That would be good. Okay, number 6. In my opinion, blank is really annoying. Mine is kind of a sentence, so it's not one word.
I'd say stupid people.
Nope.
Or nail files.
Oh, I don't know what it is. I can't stand a nail file. I don't like touching them. I don't like hearing them. I don't like nail files, people.
I like chasing them around the house with them, though.
No, I don't like it. I put folding a fitted sheet. I still cannot do it.
I've showed you how to do it a million times.
It doesn't matter.
It's
I
so
know how to do it,
easy.
and I can't do it, and it's super annoying.
So easy. All right, what do you think I put?
I think, in my opinion, you put bullies are really annoying.
They are, but surprisingly enough, the last two WIP and Chat's up and like, oh, everything's so hard, yeah. But actually, the one thing I find more annoying than anything else is drama, and here I have been just being a drama queen the last couple days. Because I always like to just I try to make everything fun. I try really hard to just have that happy-go-lucky woo.
Okay. All right, number 7. What simple task am I surprisingly bad at?
Wiping off counters.
The counter is still dirty right now after I made dinner. But I cleaned up, I put the dishes away, I think. Maybe. Did I? I don't know. For you, I say sweeping.
No, what was yours? You didn't tell me if I got it right.
Did I? Oh, wait, what? Oh. What am I surprisingly bad? Listening.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's true. It's true. And I did it.
You just didn't listen.
Oh, number 7. What am I surprised? What simple task am I surprisingly bad at? Listening, folks. Wow. I'm good.
Alright, what do you think mine is?
I think it's sweeping.
It is sleeping.
You are terrible at sweeping.
Dude,
just don't do it.
I try so hard. I will sweep like one small area like 6 times, being oh so careful. And then he'll come and sweep once and pick up more stuff than I did. And all my 6 times is sweeping. And I'm not a bad cleaner. I'm really good at cleaning, but I can't sweep.
Yeah. You just can't do it.
And I remember I used to get in so much trouble and they'd make me sweep over and over again. Yeah. Didn't think I was actually trying. It's like, no, she's trying.
She's trying her hardest. All right, number 8 and the last one. What makes people gasp when I tell them that I don't like it?
Sports?
I like sports. I don't like to watch sports. But no, I did put alcohol. I'm not a big alcohol drinker. A lot of my coworkers like to drink, and I I don't. I'll have like a soda or a water or something most of the time. Plus, I just never drink and drive, even just one. I don't do it.
No.
For you, I think it's root beer.
No.
What?
It's my second most hated thing.
Oh. So what is it?
Tomato sauce. Cooked
Well,
tomato.
Cooked tomato. We'll say cooked tomato, and that's it for the hot seat.
All right, so that is it. Oh, dudes, I didn't even tell you guys what I'm working on today. By the way, I am working on Under the Stairs by Yuumie Arts. All right, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.